Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we are going to create a Christmas card, a fun, cheery, sweet one. We're using a Halloween stencil. It's nice to be able to versatilize, if that's a word, your stencil. So this has candy corn candies in here, but I'm thinking I can get away with making a Christmas card with it. We're also going to be using one of the Stitch Banner Duo 1 die set, just one piece in there, and then 2 sentiments. We are going to be using the Holiday Script Sentiment stamp set, and then also the Simple Sentiment stamp set. So let's jump in. Today's card's pretty easy, but the stencil is so much fun. It has a whole bunch of candies in here. The only thing I was worried about is the candy corn. But I think if we use a different color than normal candy corn, I think it's gonna work. I don't know, you tell me. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. This stencil already has pixie spray behind it. It leaves a light tackiness. For stencils that are intricate like this, I think pixie spray is a must-have in our craft stash. And Pretty Pink Posh actually sells it at the shop, and I'll link it down below for you guys. To color in all of my candies, we're going to use some bright, soft bright colors, I should say, in finger daubers. We are going to start off with the largest popsicle or sucker that's in the stencil, and I'm going to be using my Kitsch Flamingo. I don't use this very often. It's fairly new, and I love this pink. I just think it's super pretty. I sped up my video in hyperdrive here, and we're just going to continue on kind of spreading out the color. It's nice because there's jelly beans in here and small circles, so it's a great way to spread your color out to those extra areas. Next, I'm using some of my squeezed lemonade, and we are adding some color to some of the candy corn in there. And then our orange is spiced marmalade. We're going to add some color to some of the jelly beans and also some of the round candies that are in here. Next color we're going to bring in is a lighter color. It's tumbled glass, and we're going to go around the round candies along with some jelly beans and some of the circles in here. And again, just spreading out that color so it's evenly spaced in our background. Next color is a real pretty green. It's Twisted Citron. We're going to add color, the green color, to our oblong candies, and a couple of the jelly beans for those too. And then last but not least, we're going to spread out a little bit more with our spiced marmalade, and then also create a couple two-tone candies by mixing spiced marmalade and Kitsch Flamingo. Now once we're done, there's some white open areas. When you have a stencil like this, you don't want any white open areas, because when you lift it, the white areas are going to show behind it. So basically you want to color all of the front when your stencil is on a panel. And so to do this, I wanted a soft neutral color. So this is Antique Linen, and I'm using my blending brush to go over the white areas you see here. So basically my entire stencil is covered now. This way when we do lift it up, we have the white area is just going to pop. And I love the way it turned out, guys. I think you can't even tell that the candy corn's in there, at least in my opinion. But I think the bright colors is perfect. And I think it's going to make a really sugar plummy Christmas card. Okay, I'm going to use my paper trimmer. We'll take this panel. This is a card front panel, so I want it slightly smaller than my card base. So we're trimming off 1/4 inch off the left and top of this panel. And then it's going to end up measuring 4 inches by 5 1/4. Now once this is done, we need a place to stamp our sentiment. And so this is where our Stitched Banner Duo 1 die set comes in. There's 2 pieces to this. I'm going to be using just the banner portion. Die cut this out with white cardstock. The nice thing about this is there is a stitch detail, and I like that. Once our banner is die cut out, we're going to use the same color inks basically, but instead of using finger daubers, we're going to use blending brushes. I thought I'd have enough ink on my blending brush, and I really don't. So I'm going to grab a little bit more of that Kitsch Flamingo, go over the bottom of our banner, and then we'll take our next blending brush, which is the yellow one, and I do have enough ink on here. We'll take our green one, and we'll add a little color just above our yellow, kind of creating a soft rainbow, but real soft to kind of go with our candy background. And then our last color, of course, is Tumble Glass. And I need to pick up a little bit more color with this brush. I'm going to leave about, I would say, an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch of the top area without any color. So we're going to leave that white. I think it's just going to keep with the softness of our little banner here. Okay, I cleaned my work surface. Next we're going to stamp our sentiments. I have some black cardstock. We're going to stamp a sentiment from our simple sentiments on that black cardstock, but we're also going to take one of our holiday script sentiments. I chose Happy Holidays for our card today, and we'll pick that up with an acrylic block and stamp that directly on our banner. I'm going to be using my VersaFine Onyx Black ink. It's going to stamp beautifully over that oxide ink, and we'll stamp this almost towards the middle of our banner. We want to make sure that we have enough room underneath to stamp holidays. So we'll stamp happy. Hopefully I can get this straight. And I think it's stamped lovely. We'll clean off our stamp and stamp our holidays right below it. And I love the boldness of it. Okay, once we have Happy Holidays stamped, I'm going to treat my little black cardstock piece with my anti-static powder tool. And we're going to take a sentiment from the Simple Sentiments. All of these are block letter sentiments that are great secondary sentiments, guys. But there's one in here for all occasions, not just holidays. There's Make a Wish, With Heartfelt Sympathy, Miss You, just a whole bunch. There's even one that says You're Sweet, and I think that goes perfect with this card. So that's what we're going to stamp. We're going to stamp it with Versamark ink, again on our black cardstock, and then I'm going to take some white embossing powder and go over our sentiment. I have to buy some more white embossing powder. That's why my little tub's not filled up quite yet. And I'll use my heat gun and we'll melt our You're Sweet. Once our sentiment is melted, takes a little while. I should have had my heat gun heating off to the side, but you know what they say about hindsight. It's kind of chilly too. It probably would have warmed up the craft room a little bit. Okay, I did block off my sentiment just using my paper trimmer, and then that's good to go. Now I'm taking some black and white baker's twine. We're going to wrap it around twice at the upper portion of our fishtail banner there, and I tied the bow off to the left, you can see. I have some double-sided fun foam adhesive foam sheets basically, and I'm going to add a piece behind You're Sweet and then also put a square behind our large banner. And then if you have foam squares or foam tape, you could use that as well. We're going to flip over our panel, add adhesive behind this. I'm just going to use my tape runner, and this is going to, again, leave me a little bit of a white border on my card bases. I just like that. I don't know why. Maybe because I love frames, and maybe I always have my panel slightly smaller because it kind of frames it. Once my panel is nice and centered, I love that the pink larger lollipops are all around the edges. That works out great because you can see that peeking out. I'm just going to remove the release paper off of my foam, place my banner right in the middle, and then we'll remove the release paper off of our little You're Sweet. And I'm going to place this underneath the bow almost like it's a little tag. And kind of wonky too. I'm going to place that up there. Last but not least, we need some sparkle, so I'm bringing in some Pretty Pink Posh sparkling clear sequins. These, if you're looking for a clear sequin mix, this is really pretty. There's large and small ones in here, and I'm just going to use my glossy accents to adhere them. You can use glue if you wanted to. I had glossy accent on my desk, so that's what we're going to use to adhere these sequins. But I think that was just the perfect amount of sparkle. So it's kind of a different Christmas card, but I think it's like a sugar plummy Christmas card. I guess these colors are real popular this year, so I think it kind of goes with the bright colors of the holiday cards this year. But that finishes off my card today using a few items from Pretty Pink Posh. I'll list everything below if you guys are interested, and also if you want to see still shots, head on over to my blog. I'll list the coordinating blog post down in the description area also. I wish you guys, I know I'm going to make some cards before Christmas, but I wish you the best holiday season ever, guys. Thanks for joining me, and we will see you again soon. Bye-bye.